Hey everybody, Rauderberg69 back with you again today to do another tutorial slash demo of Eurofly 3, which is currently still in beta. This is a flight simulator for blind and low vision people, so for all you sighted people that maybe watch it or isn't interested in this, there's actually nothing on the screen normally. Right now you can see an image of a cockpit, but that's it, as this is an audio game specifically for blind and low vision people. I'm part of the Blind Gaming Club, and we do these videos to help our members to learn how to fly these planes and do things. So hopefully they'll help somebody out. But other than that, we'll get started. If you like the video, you can like and subscribe, which will help out and get it out there to other people, and I'll put a link in the description to our website. So let's get going.
Exit. Training.
Enter. Training. Training dialog. Practice flights combo box. 1. Filter edit. Training combo box. Enter. Astra 270.
Steering
Dashboard.
controls ready.
Okay, so just a couple of disclaimers before we start. If you haven't seen my videos before, you heard steering controls ready when it loaded in. If you don't have a controller plugged in, you won't hear that. So I use an Xbox Series X controller to assist me with flying the plane because it takes over a lot of the keystrokes. I use it for on the ground and in the air. So I definitely recommend it. If you've got one lying around, try it out. Plug it in with your USB cable and go through the settings and set it up. They're quite easy to do. I haven't actually done the settings on that, but that can be another thing for another time. The second thing is I use a voice command program called Voice Attack to do a lot of the keystrokes for me. So you'll hear me doing commands, and then you'll hear the program actually doing things and saying things. These aren't part of the game, it's part of the program. Unfortunately, it's not very accessible. So once you get it set up, you can use voice commands to actually control the program. So if you can have sighted assistance, it comes in very handy. But I'm not here to sell that. I'm not affiliated with them at all. Check it out if you want to. Okay, so this is quite a decent flight today. And this is in the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which is the 9th training plane out of all the training flights, and which is the last one as well. I'll be finally back into free flights and flying with passengers and things like that after these flights. So the plane itself is pretty similar to the last plane, only a couple of engines less. Now we'll go through that and go through the settings first, but we'll get started and move on because it's going to be at least an hour's flight. So we'll get started. So let me get the plane started. Start up.
Computer on. Seatbelt lights fastened. Taxi lights on. Cabin lights on. Landing lights on. Radio on. Transponder on.
Okay, we're just waiting for the APU to start up. The auxiliary power unit takes a little while. And I'll just wait. I'll do this in sequence. We'll just wait.
APU is now running. Primary startup complete. Please connect to nearest tower, then complete your flight plan, then complete next checklist using command, checklist 2. Press 9 for radio frequency. Okay, so we're at Sydney Airport today. So get the frequencies.
Synonym. 9. Combo box. Sydney-Kingsford Smith ground control 120.5.
Okay, so we'll set that.
Escape. Edit. Numlock on.
Set radio frequency.
Set frequency. Set frequency edit. 1, 2, 0. 120, period 5. Sydney-Kingsford Smith ground control. Edit.
SK416. Welcome to our airport.
Okay, so we're flying between Sydney and Brisbane today, two major airports in Australia, but there is about 700 kilometres between them, so it's going to take at least an hour to fly there, so hopefully you can be patient and we'll find things to talk about while we're in the air. But okay, so let's just quickly do the plane properties so we know what our flaps and everything are. So we'll do Control and enter.
Control enter. Combo box.
And
Pilot
I'm
Rosenberg
not going to
left,
go
paren
through them
1
all.
right,
We've
paren.
been through these many times, so we'll just go through and do the flaps.
SK Boeing's certified pushback condition. Last system. Number of seats, number of pass, wingspan, 60 meter, length, 62 meter, bass weight, 2, current weight, 200, cruising speed, 950, maximum cruising range, maximum cruising altitude, flap positions, 0/6.
Okay, so it has 6 flap
Spoiler
positions.
0/6.
6
Bass
spoiler
takeoff speed,
positions.
260 kmph.
Okay, base takeoff is
Bass landing
260.
speed, 260 kmph.
Landing's the
Stall
same.
speed, 343 kmph.
Okay, there's one of them. 343 is our stall speed with no flaps, so very
Current
important.
takeoff speed, 278 kmph.
Current takeoff speed is 278.
Nose angle when taking off, 6-11-17.
61117, so we'll do our normal flight
Minimum
takeoff
flap position when taking off,
sequence.
2. Nose and minimum flap position when taking off, 2.
Minimum flaps when taking off is 2.
Minimum takeoff runway length, 2,700 meters.
We're at Sydney Airport. I think we're 3,000 and something meters. So
Current
plenty.
landing speed, 278 k. Minimum flap position when landing, 4.
4 for
Minimum
landing.
landing runway length, 1,870 meters.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's check our stall
combo
speeds.
box. Technical data. Stall speeds, flaps 0, 343 kmph. Flaps 1, flaps 2, 303 kmph.
So again, we can't take off until we get above 303 kilometers an hour. So that's the stall speed. Even though it says our minimum takeoff was 260 something or 270 something, we can't do that because it's still below the stall
Flaps
speed.
3, flaps 4, 263
And
kmph.
our landing speed is 263 because I'm just going to do the normal stall landing today. I'm not going to do a spoiler landing.
Escape, edit.
Okay, so that's that.
Dashboard,
So
window.
we will now check everything.
E, 50889 liters.
Okay, so we got plenty of fuel, so I'm not going to fuel up. Hangar door status.
Hangar doors closed, vertical bar west.
And I am
3050 hangar 2.
in hangar 2. So open hangar doors. Open hangar door. We'll open that. Probably should have opened that before we started the APU, but we'll air out the hangar now. There's a few people out there gasping for air. Okay, so we've got that done. So now let's organise our flight plan. So Control and F8
Combo
to bring
box.
up the map.
State of New South Wales, Sydney dash Kingsford
From
Smith dash easy
nearest
left,
to
0 kilometers right,
furthest. So we're at Sydney and we're going to Brisbane.
State of Victoria, Melbourne dash YMML left, 706 kilometers 38 left, 49 minutes right. State of Queensland, Brisbane dash YBBN left, 751 kilometers 105 right, 53 minutes
Okay,
right.
751.
Space
So
added to
we'll add
navigation.
that. And then we'll escape out
Escape,
because
edit,
it's
escape.
ready to go, and we'll contact the tower and get the
Combo
flight
box.
plan.
Board dash asking for boarding. Engines dash app fuel dash asking gate dash asking for plan dash I want to create a flight.
Okay.
Enter. Call sign read only edit.
Okay,
SKMTF
that's your call
416.
sign. You have to remember that because if there's multiple people at the airport, make sure you're answering calls for you, not for somebody else. So let's tab to the next
Select
item.
destination combo box. State of Queensland, Brisbane dash YBBN.
We already selected that just a moment ago, but you can select from a list here as well.
Filter
Or
edit.
you can search by typing in this box and pressing enter.
Flight description edit.
This is flight description. As per usual, enter whatever you like in here. It will show up online and people can see what your flight's about.
Requesting combo box. Navigated flight.
And again, there's only 2 different flights, navigated and direct.
Direct
We're
flight.
just going to apply for a direct flight because the navigated flights still aren't working. There hasn't been an update since May. So we'll select navigated.
My waypoints combo box. Brisbane.
Waypoints is only Brisbane because we haven't added any additional waypoints. We're not going anywhere else.
Request flight button.
And we'll request the flight.
Enter. Edit.
Set transponder.
Set transponder code. Set transponder code edit.
SK416. Flight plan accepted without objections. Set transponder to 6039.
6 0 3 9 6039. Enter.
You have to
edit.
set your transponder because that's how all the towers know who you are and where you're heading. That's got the flight plan and all the information in it. So, okay, so the next step is now to get permission to start the engines. I've been over this before, but I'll go over it again. Make sure you always have the APU running before you try starting the engines, because once you get permission to start the engines, you've got a timer to get them started or you'll get a penalty. And if you try starting the APU and the engines in the same sector, you will get a penalty. That's how I used to get penalties before. So I always have the APU running before. And I'd rather be sitting here in an air-conditioned plane than not. So Let's get permission to start the engines.
Combo box. Board dash asking for engines dash asking for permission. Enter. Edit.
Let's hopefully not get knocked back.
SK416. You have permission to start
Yay.
the engines.
Final startup.
Page up. Page down. Blank.
Only 2 engines in this plane. 2 nice big engines.
Temperature control radar on. Stall indication on. TCAS on. Sensor on. Ventilation on. Cabin pressurization on. GPWS on.
And again, that's all done by the voice command, so I don't have to do it myself. Takes a little while to get these things turning.
Ready.
There we go.
The APU is now shut down. Final startup complete. If you need to collect passengers, use the command. Passenger checklist. If no passengers, use command, taxi checklist, for takeoff procedure. Now please set cabin temperature.
Set temperature. Set temperature combo box. 18, 19, 20, 21. Enter.
Temperature
Edit.
set.
Always set my temperature for 21, 22 degrees, nice and comfy, not too cold. But that voice you heard at the end, again, that's part of my voice attack. That's nothing to do with the program. So that's just something I've added there to tell me what to do. So just so you're aware of that. Now you'll hear that the APU shut down. You do that because once you've got one engine running, there's enough power to keep everything running. Don't shut the APU down before one of the engines is running, or all your other systems will turn off because there won't be enough power to keep them running. So, okay, so we got all that. We're now running, so let's get our runway.
Combo box. Board dash ask engines dash ask fuel dash ask gate dash asking for plan dash I want to change push dash I need push repair dash I need repairs runway dash asking for runway. Enter. Edit.
Hopefully it won't give us one too far away.
SK416. You've been assigned runway 16 right. You can taxi.
Okay, so we got 16 right. So now let's check the airport properties to find out where that is. So shift and enter,
Shift enter. Combo box.
for your current
Pilot Rotherberg
airport,
69
and
left paren
alt
1
and
right
enter
paren.
is your destination.
SKMTF 400 Boeing 7 ICDA public with mate height above difficulty ground control colon
We know it's got at
120.5.
least 2 runways.
Approach control colon 100. Approach
And we
control.
need that approach control.
Airport
We'll get that in a
description,
minute.
Runways 3.
It's got 3 runways.
Runway
Where-
34L16R left paren 3960. Runway 34L16R left paren 3962 meters right paren. Entrance 34L colon alpha dash 200. Entrance 16R colon alpha Oscar echo dash 3920. 206. Escape. Edit.
Hang on.
Space.
SK416. You've been assigned runway 16 right. You can taxi.
Yep, the furthest one away. Typical. Okay, so let's just
Traffic.
double check
About-
that again.
Traffic in Eurofly 3 vertical bar Eurofly.stefankis.sk.
Wrong button.
Train 01 SK 337 heading level 3 link. Desktop, folder view, list view, Eurofly 3, 13 of 29, Forza Motorsport, 14 of 29. Taskbar, show hit, Google Chrome button, start button off. Desktop, folder, escape,
Sorry about that.
dashboard,
I just got off the focus. Okay, so shift and enter. Bring
shift
up the
enter,
airport
dash
again.
SBO is pub hot diffic, ground, air, runways 3. Runway entrance 34L colon, entrance 16R colon alpha Oscar echo dash 3920, 206. Entrance 16R colon alpha Oscar echo dash 3920,
Alpha Oscar
206.
Echo. And we'll check the coordinates
Enter
in a
runway-
second.
Approach control, ground control, approach control
Approach
colon
control.
135.1. Escape.
Set radio frequency.
Set frequency 135. 131. Sydney-Kingsford Smith approach control.
Right,
Edit.
so park brake off. Park brake off.
Parking brakes off.
Okay, so we're heading out of the hangar and we're facing to the
West.
And we're going to turn onto Mike because that always runs north-south, so we've got to turn to the north and head up Mike, and then we'll head on to Alpha Oscar Echo, I believe it was. So I think Oscar's right up the other end. We'll just double check that again.
SBO is pub hot airport district run entrance 34L entrance 16R colon alpha Oscar echo dash
Yep.
escape.
Right, let's get moving because this is going to take some time. This plane's got auto speed, autopilot, so we're going to use the auto speed. Set speed.
Set speed 2990 20. Enter.
I'll
Edit.
change that again in a minute once we get out of the hangar.
Minus 500 hangar 2. 7/20 auto.
Wait till we get outside the hangar on the mic and then we'll turn right to north, 0 degrees.
Mike.
Close hangar door.
280. 290. 300. 310. 320. 330. 340. 350. 0. 1. Z north. Minus 435 mark. Hangar doors
speed up
closed.
a bit more. Set speed.
Set speed. 2. 5. 25. Enter. Edit.
That's hangar 1.
Hangar 1.
25.
I think eventually we're going to have
Hangar
to
1.
park in the hangars and things, so you've got to learn how to turn into
Hangar
them as
1.
well. So we're going up Alpha, we're going up Mike, we'll turn left onto Alpha, and then we'll turn right onto Oscar, and then right onto Echo, I'm guessing, because I'm pretty sure Oscar's going to be all the way up the other end of the Alpha taxiway.
Minus 295 meters. 25. North.
I'll speed up once I get onto Alpha, but I've got to turn in a moment, so
Minus 144 Mike.
no point speeding up too much more because I'll snap my front wheel off. That'll be Zulu.
Zulu.
Go into Zulu if you're picking up
Zulu.
passengers or things like that, or you want to go to
Zulu.
the main area,
Zulu.
because this plane's got a very shocking turning circle. That's Alpha ahead of us.
Alpha.
Remember, don't turn until you're actually on Alpha,
Alpha.
because we're heading directly for it. If I
Alpha.
turn now, I'd end up in the grass.
Alpha.
911 meters.
Alpha.
There we go, turn left,
350.
270 degrees
340.
again.
329.
West,
320. 309. 300. 290. 279. 270. 264.
that should be Delta, yep.
268. 270. 271. 200 west.
As you saw, that cut out because I actually got I was pointing away from it, so
2,792 meters.
alright, let's speed up because we've got to go 2,000 meters, nearly 3 k's. Set speed,
Set speed. 5. 5. Length.
34R.
6. 0. 60. Enter. Edit.
34R.
27/60 auto.
right,
34R.
so that's 34R, so that means that'll be 16L, so the one we're turning onto will be the one right up the other end. So once we get to the end of Oscar and turn onto Echo, we'll then be turning right onto our runway.
1,480 50/60 auto.
But we've got
1,415 meters.
a long way to go, and then we've got to go up, so it's going to be about a 5-kilometre drive just to get there.
60. 1,265 meters. 1,225 meters.
I'll slow down once I get closer to the end. Disappointing that it's such a long runway,
2,048 meters.
but you can only go where they tell you to go.
1,931 meters. 1,186 meters. 153 Alpha.
Romeo.
Ooh, lucky that was
Romeo.
Romeo because I'm going way too fast to turn.
34L.
1,520 meters.
And don't try and turn or adjust your course while you're doing this sort of
60.
speed, because the minute you try and turn, you'll blow your plane up.
1,304
Your front
meters.
wheel will snap off.
1,274 meters.
I'll start slowing down shortly. I just coast in, so
1,154
and then
meters.
I hit the brakes if I need to, if I'm still going too fast when I get to the end.
1,073 meters. 1,004 meters. 1,964 meters. 1,941 meters. 1,901 meters. 1,858 meters. 1,831 meters. 1,808 meters. Throttle preset 0.
Right, let's set the throttle
58.
to 0.
1,740 meters.
We just keep tabs on the speed, because I'll set the
1,693
speed when
meters.
I get down again.
1,667 meters. 1,646 meters. 52. 1,612 meters. 50.
Set speed.
Set speed. 2. 5.
Right. so
45.
when I get there,
479 meters. 442.
if you don't have a controller, you can't set that ready to go. Because you'll still be using the keyboard.
380 meters. 38. 358 meters. 37. 332 meters.
I'm using the controller to check these distances.
292 meters. 33. 268 meters. 31. 246 meters. 30. 35. Enter. Edit.
Set that.
26. 26.
And again, just remember when you set the speed, it usually stops 1 kilometer above it.
162 meters. 26. 142 meters.
Oscar.
Oscar.
280.
We're
290.
heading north again.
300.
Oscar.
310.
And then we got another 3.5
321.
kilometers to go.
330. 341.
Oscar.
350.
Oscar.
357. 215 Oscar. 224 Oscar. 234 Oscar. 31 Oscar. 31 Oscar. 31 Oscar. 30 Oscar. 30 Oscar.
Right, that's the
1,
tours.
2, 0. North. 3,719 meters.
Set speed.
Set speed. 6. 5. 65. Enter. Edit. 27/65
Right,
auto.
we've got a ways to go. Really sorry about this, guys. Fun fact, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, I believe they were first launched in about 2009. So they've been around for quite some time. I might throw in some of those fun facts. It was a suggestion from one of my viewers to find out information about these planes. I didn't really look up too much, but I'll throw out an odd fact here and there.
804 Oscar. 3,190 meters. 659 meters.
And I'll get permission, but I'm just going to
30 Oscar.
see where we are. So we're at 30 right down the other end of the airport.
Shift enter. Combo box. Pilot SBO is
Just
pub
checking
active
where this
airport
runway
description.
is.
Pub runways. Runway 3 entrance 34 L colon alpha entrance 16 R colon alpha Oscar Echo dash 3,920. 206.
206. So when we turn back onto Echo, we got 170 meters.
Escape. Escape.
About 170 meters to get to it.
65.
So we definitely have to be slowed down long before then.
2,579 meters. 2,536 meters. North. 751 kilometers. Brisbane 11 hour 15 right at 15. 0 above ground 3.
Hope I haven't forgotten anything. Pretty sure I've told you everything. We've checked the takeoff speeds and everything. We'll set the plane up for takeoff once we get on the runway.
65. 2,081 meters.
But this is the good thing. It's trying to be realistic. How you've got to taxi all the way out to the runways, just like the real planes do. That all takes time. When you got to get passengers and stuff, it takes even longer.
1,741 meters. 65. 0 above ground. 24 colon throttle colon 2.0% colon throttle preset 1 colon taxi mode colon.
We're in taxi mode, of course, while we're on the ground. These planes have all got the dual flight modes.
1,267 meters.
Okay, we can start slowing down shortly.
1,181 meters.
I'm going a
1,134
bit
meters.
faster this time, so I've got to slow down a bit earlier.
1,065 meters.
Which I don't really need to, because I'll hit the speed and it'll hit the brakes for me anyway.
3,957 meters. 3,906 meters. 3,870 meters. Throttle
Okay.
preset 0.
Set it to
3,863. 62. 61.
Doesn't slow down really fast, but it does slow down reasonably
57.
quick. And we'll get permission to enter the runway, so we don't have to worry
Combo
about that.
box. Enter dash asking for enter. Edit.
SK416. You're permitted to enter the runway.
3,515 meter 47. 3,489 meters.
Set speed.
Set speed. Sets 1. 0.
Set it for 10 k's because we're going to be turning right and then we're going to be entering the runway, so we don't want to be going too fast when we enter the runway.
39. 3,319 meters.
It's a long runway, as you saw. I think we had 3,500 meters to come up here, and that's on the angle of 160 degrees, so I'm guessing it's about 3,700 meters long.
198 meters.
We'll check
31.
that when we get there.
10.
Okay.
Enter. Edit. 29/10 auto. 22/10 auto. 16 121 meter. 11. 11.
There we go.
112 meters.
Ready to turn right. Now I'm going to go a little bit further past this time.
Echo.
Right, let's turn now because I don't want to be right on the
10.
edge because I want a little bit of
Echo.
distance to turn on.
20.
So we're heading back south now. So we're
Echo.
heading to
30.
east. Sorry,
Echo.
we're heading to 90 degrees.
40.
Echo.
50.
Echo.
60.
Echo.
And of course we're
Echo.
turning slower because we're doing a slower speed.
80.
Echo. Echo.
89. 90. 89. 90.
Echo.
East.
There we go. And now
105 echo.
207.
110
We
echo.
start turning. We'll turn as soon as we hear the beeps
118
because this
echo.
plane turns really slow.
123 echo. 130 echo. 119 meters. 139 echo. 147 echo.
And we're turning to 160 degrees because that's 16 runway.
16R.
And it's 16R.
110.
16R.
120.
16R.
130.
16R.
140.
As you hear, the runway's coming around in front of me.
16R.
160.
16R.
161. 160.
There we go.
16R.
Just wait till we hit the runway.
Throttle preset 0.
Throttle off
16R.
because we'll be getting close.
Runway 16R34L.
There we go.
Dash.
Okay, so we're on runway 16R 34L. And this runway is...
3,943 meters.
I was incorrect. 3,940 meters long.
19
And-
meters.
And we're 19 meters onto it. So, okay, let's get this plane set up so we know it's flaps 2. That was the minimum. Set the flaps. Set the flap.
Set flap 2. Enter. Edit.
Set it for flight mode. So shift and delete.
Shift
Flight
delete.
mode.
And we'll get permission to
Combo
take off.
box. Runway dash ask takeoff dash asking for takeoff clearance. Enter. Edit.
And then we'll check everything.
Flaps set.
SK416, you are cleared to take off.
Okay, so let's just check everything now and then we'll get ready to take off. So first we'll check our fuel.
E 50882 liters.
Yep.
7.6 kilometers.
So we just drove 7.6 kilometers to get to here from the hangar.
160.
We're facing 160 and we're on runway 16.
3,910 runway 16R34L.
And
0 flaps at 2.
our flaps are set to 2, so we're ready to go. And
0 throttle 0% throttle preset 0 flight mode .
we're in flight mode. So remember, I checked out the speed before. We'll just do it quickly again for stall speed. So control and enter for
control
plane
enter.
properties.
Combo box. Technical data.
Technical data, I just tabbed across 3 times.
Stall speed flaps 1 flaps 2 303 kmph.
303 is our stall, so we can't take
escape.
off until we get to 303. So again, just quickly to go over, what I'll do is I'll set my throttles to full, which is 90%. I'll go down the runway pressing R, checking the speed. When I get to 303 or above, I will then press and hold the shift button and press the down arrow 1 to get to 10 degrees lift. So the nose will be coming up 10 degrees, and then I may press it 1 or 2 more times just to bring it up to 12 or 13 degrees takeoff, because you can go to 17, I believe, on this plane. So that's how I do my takeoff. So we've got approval, so let's get started.
0 flaps at 2.
Full throttle.
Throttle preset 6.
Takes a while for this plane to get started.
3 flaps at 2. 6 flaps at 2.
But once it gets rolling, definitely doesn't take long to pick up the speed.
42 flaps at 2. 128 meters.
But we've only moved 128 meters, so you don't have to panic too much. It's speed versus distance.
R 115 flaps at 2. R 138 flaps at 2. 3,235 meters. 895 meters. R. 102 flaps at 2.
Okay, we're getting up now.
224 flaps at 2. R. 149 flaps at 2. 2,187 meters.
We've got 2 kilometers to go down the runway.
291 flaps at 2.
All right, here we go.
301 flaps at 2. R. 308 flaps at blank.
10,
blank.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 150,
346 flaps at 2.
200.
Flight mode.
Landing lights off. Taxi light
416,
300.
climb to
Flight mode is
altitude
set.
70.
Set flap position. Set flap position edit.
400.
0. Enter. Edit.
Okay, I'll just go over what
500.
happened then in a
Zero.
second.
Out of
Right.
airport.
145 left at 15.
Set course.
Tasman Sea.
Set course 1.
Tasman Sea.
5. 15, comma.
Flaps set.
5. 25. Enter. Edit.
I'm just turning to my
140.
course.
416, turn to
140.
122.
130.
I'm not going to turn to their course because
120.
that's not where I want to go. So
110.
just turning to my course, and then
100.
I'll explain a few things
90.
and I'll set the altitude.
80.
Australia and Oceania,
70.
Australia. State of New South Wales, Australia
60.
and Oceania, Australia. State of
50.
New South Wales, Randwick.
40.
Just
30.
get to a degree.
Dead ahead at 15.
Right.
SK416, keep your altitude.
Yeah, I'm going up way higher than he says, so set altitude.
Set altitude 1990. 0, 0, 0. 10000, comma, 1, 5, 15. Enter. Edit.
Okay, so I just set my altitude to 10,000 meters at 15 degrees up, so
15.
that'll get us up there a little bit quicker.
2713/10000.
Okay, so what happened there was you heard all those numbers as we were taking off. That's the GPWS doing that, the ground proximity warning system. It's just so you know where you're at.
City of Sydney.
And
City
it
of
goes
Sydney.
up to about 150 meters before that stops. And then every 100 meters above that it'll tell you as it changes up to 500, I believe. And then you heard me say the command for my mode. I'm not going to say it again because otherwise it'll do it. And what that did was turned off my lights and pulled up the landing gear and then told me to set my flaps to 0. Make sure you set your flaps or you will break them. And if you break them
Tasman
at
Sea.
2,
Tasman
they
Sea.
will stay at 2, and then you will probably not be able to land because your landing flaps are meant to be full, so you'll more than likely crash. So yeah, make sure you set them.
5,377/10000
Yeah, we're going up to a high altitude
auto.
because it's safer and you do actually save fuel at high altitude. We've done a bit of testing and it does seem to burn less fuel. Don't hold me to that, I'm not 100%
Australia,
sure.
Australia and Oceania, Australia.
Because I know
State
there's
of
a
New South
debate
Wales,
going
Warren.
on right now about how the fuel works in this game. But I think people just have to remember it is a game and not everything's going to be perfect.
Dead ahead at 15.
Alright, the other thing I'm going to do is turn on the autopilot just so I don't have to keep adjusting things. Autopilot on,
Auto navigation on.
and that'll just keep me aligned with the Brisbane airport.
Tasman Sea.
We'll change
Tasman Sea.
over to the Brisbane frequency shortly because they haven't told us to switch to any other frequency.
830.
We're doing 830 kilometers an hour at the moment. Again, that noise you can hear, that beacon off to the left is Sydney, and I believe it's just to locate the centre of the city. I'm not sure, that's part of the mapping software.
Australia and
of
Oceania,
Eurofly.
Australia and Oceania, Australia. State of New South Wales, Pittwater.
So that, what it's saying there is just different locations we're flying over as well.
867. 9,897/10000 auto.
There we go, we've reached
10010.
10,000.
10010.
We're at 10,010, that's fine. This plane can go up to 12,000 something meters, so we'll just sit at this height.
715 kilometers. Brisbane 48 minutes.
So we've got 48 minutes and we're not even at top speed yet.
891.
I believe we can get over 900 and something kilometers an hour in this plane. I want to say 970, but I'm probably wrong. It's been a while since I've flown this plane properly. But yeah, so normally I just keep checking things. We've got quite a
708
ways to
kilometers.
go.
Brisbane 40 dead ahead at 14.5. 14.5/14.5 auto.
Yeah,
10010 above ground. 10010.
and our above ground and altitude are the same, so we're over water right now, which I can check that.
2.
Australia and
Australia dash
Oceania,
state of New South
Australia and
Wales.
Oceania, Australia.
And we,
State
just
of New
as I
South Wales,
checked, we came
Gosfordshire.
back over land. I like flying around Australia because I know the places, like we're flying over Gosford now. That's just out of Sydney. I've been there before. And it's just interesting to see the places you fly over in your flight lines. I've actually flown over towns in Australia that I never expected to fly over. Okay, so yeah, so what I'll do is I'll find out my destination airport's radio frequency. So again, destination airport is Alt Enter.
Alt enter. Combo box. Pilot
And
Roderberg
we'll
69
check
left.
out
Haran
some
1 right.
other
Haran.
stuff while we're here. So just descent and stuff. So I've got that done before we get there. So let's
SKM
get the
Boeing
radio
7
frequency.
YBBN public with maintenance services. Height above sea dash difficulty :1. Ground control :120.5. Approach control :124.4.
Okay, so we need the approach. So we'll set that first, and then I'll go back
Escape.
in.
Edit.
Set radio frequency.
Set frequency 1, 2, 4. 124. Period 4. Enter. Edit.
Okay, so that just means Brisbane will contact me when I get in range. Let's now check the descent. So Alt Enter.
Combo box.
Go
Pilot
to the
Roderberg
descent
69
map
left.
by
Haran 1 right.
tabbing
Haran.
over one.
Combo box. Descent map. Height above sea dash level 3 meters.
Wildshire.
Same altitude safe circle 1.6 kilometers.
Okay, so the same altitude safe circle is 1.6 kilometers, so that's pretty good. But I'm just doing my normal landing sequence, which is just to come in. I don't go below 200 meters until I get about within 2 kilometers, and then, or within 100 meters to 200 meters above the ground. And then once I get to about 1.5, I start heading down to landing, and then when I get to about 500 meters, that's when I head to landing, depending on the airport, of course, with that descent map. If it's 300 meters, I won't start heading down that last step to the under 20 meters until I get inside that range. Okay, so let's just do the check before the further
2,
out.
5, 10, 50, 30 kilometers, 150, 150
Okay.
kilometers, safe altitude 1,072 meters, which is 1,069 meters above
So
ground.
at 150, we've got to still be pretty high.
100 kilometers, safe altitude 957 meters, 50 kilometers, safe altitude 611 meters, 30 kilometers,
Lake
safe
Macquarie
altitude
Shire.
300 meters, which is
Lake Macquarie
297
Shire.
meters above ground. 30 kilometers, safe altitude 300 meters, which is 297 meters above ground.
So 30 kilometres we're going to be down pretty low, that's good. So I just like to know those. And we don't have a runway assignment
Escape,
yet,
edit.
so until we get there we're not going to know what that is.
996,
Okay, this plane goes faster than I thought. We're up to 996.
997,
Obviously this one's, I think it does 1,019 then, if that's the case. And at this speed,
655 kilometers, Brisbane 39 minutes.
we've got 39 minutes to get there, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, we had to taxi so far, and I've got a funny feeling Brisbane's going to do the same thing to us, just to extend my video a bit longer. But you just keep checking everything all the
14.4
time.
slash 14.4 auto.
As you can see, we were at 14.5, we're now at 14.4. So the plane will slowly turn the whole way there.
1003. 9,983 above ground. 10010.
And we're still at the same altitude, so that's good. Another interesting fact about the Boeing 787 Dreamliner is it actually has the largest windows of all planes. I'm not sure when these facts were actually spat out, so that may have changed since then, but at the time they were 65% larger than any other windows in any other plane, so they've got quite large windows. I want to say they're I think it's about 47 centimeters high, which is about 19 inches. I can't remember the width, so there's still quite a large window. Like my monitor, which I can't see very well, is 43 inches, so if you cut that in half, that's still quite a large window.
Cessnock. Cessnock.
We just flew over a town called Cessnock. I've also been there many, many years ago.
627 kilometers, Brisbane 37 minutes.
Okay, so we've
Lake
got
1010.
Macquarie, Lake Macquarie Shire.
Lake Macquarie. That's an entire region.
Cessnock.
Lake Macquarie. Cessnock's a town, and Lake Macquarie's an entire region. Lake Macquarie is just outside of Newcastle in Australia. I actually lived in Lake Macquarie region for many, many years. Don't live in New South Wales anymore. I live in Queensland.
Maitland Municipality.
But I guess as a pilot, this is where they'd be doing things, reading, checking instruments. I hope the co-pilot can do their job really well.
Dead ahead at 14.3. 1013.
Okay, we're up to 1013, so yeah, this plane I think does about 1019. I'm not reducing the throttles. Planes are meant to... I keep hearing stories about 79% throttle is usually the cruising altitude, the cruising speed. That would bring this plane back
Fort
to about...
Stevens-Shire.
I'm guessing
Fort
about
Stevens-Shire.
950. And it's meant to be the best fuel economy and everything at that, but it doesn't seem to be working properly in the game, so everybody at the moment is leaving them on 90%.
603 kilometers, Brisbane 35 minutes.
Now, and it also didn't give me a waypoint flight, so I can't even go through and show you the waypoints in the flight plan because there's none there. I was hoping it'd sort of tell me I had to do a waypoint flight so I could show that, because I tried showing it the other day and it didn't have the information because I was doing a circuit flight.
595 kilometers, Brisbane 35 minutes. 1015.
Still slowly climbing up in speed. I don't want to throw all my facts out there too quickly, otherwise we'll run out of things to talk about. But at the Blind Gaming Club, we do quite a few different games. Eurofly 3 is just one of them. We actually, a lot of us play Forza Motorsport, which is a great racing game, which is unbelievable how we can play racing games again. Back when I had sight, I used to actually organise a racing league, and it used to be for V8 Supercars 2, which was, and another game called R Factor. I believe in other parts of the world the V8 Supercars 2 was called Toka Race Driver 2, so just for those who know the games. But as my sight declined, I couldn't do that anymore. So last year when Forza Motorsport was released, it was unbelievable just to be able to do it again. And I'm making it harder and harder for myself in that game by using less assists. And I was, like many people, and actually purchased a wheel. And I do enjoy driving with the wheel, but it takes a lot more skill and effort and concentration to be able to do it. I can get around the tracks in not a very good time, but I can get around without going off the track, so lots of fun. But we also play Minecraft, and we have players that play Mortal Kombat 1, sorry, because the other ones aren't. They're a little bit accessible, but Mortal Kombat 1 is really accessible. We have players that play Diablo 4 even in the current way it is, but we've just done the beta testing for the new navigation mode in that, which does actually help. A lot of us sent in feedback on how they could improve it, so hopefully they'll listen to us and at least implement some of the changes. But yep, that's another one. There's another game called Factorio. A lot of people play that. I haven't purchased that myself yet, but I will be. And Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation
Gloucestershire.
5. A lot of people are playing that. Also, The Last of Us series, Part 1 and Part 2. I'm actually replaying The Last of Us Part 1 on PC at the moment. and then I'll be moving over to The Last of Us Part 2 on PlayStation 2. But I wanted to redo the first one to continue the storyline, basically.
1017.
So it's definitely been fun, and I am actually playing it on a harder mode. But yeah, so that's all the things. There's much more. It's a general discussion group as well. We do help other people with PC problems and things like that. Whatever we can help with, we do. It's a great community. There's lots of people there that help other people. It's not just the people that run it that help. It's everybody. Everybody chips in, and we have a lot of smart people. We have a lot of people that game developers and teachers. Lawyers, barristers. We have lots of smart blind people in the group. So, of course, there's people like me that do a lot of different things. Like I'm a web developer, as well as just a gamer, and I have a lot of knowledge in running servers and things like that. Getting harder and harder to do the web development. I actually built, with assistance from Blind Boy BB, we built the website together. I basically do the web development. He gets all the images and stuff. He has a little bit more sight than me. So as I said again, we work as a team. Those who can do certain things help out others that can do other things. So great community. And like I said, I'll be linking the website in the description, and we have a Discord server which is also on the website, so you can join our Discord server and jump in. We're trying to promote it on Twitter X and Facebook and all those different platforms at the moment. But as you know, I have a YouTube account, which is what these videos are showing up on, but I also have a Twitch account. I do stream live. I stream our racing events. I stream other games that I play. Mostly all accessible stuff, of course, because I can't play anything else. But if you want to look me up on there, it's just the same as my username on here, at Rauderberg69. Always take another follow. I'm currently working my way up. I only started about a month and a half ago on Twitch, so I'm currently trying to work my way up to be an affiliate, just so I get a few more options. I'm not even interested in trying to make money off it. That's not my interest. My interest is to help other people. Okay, so let's see how far we got.
491 kilometers, Brisbane, 28 minutes.
Okay, so we're getting there. That was 10 minutes filled up. Okay, so let's throw out another interesting fact about the Boeing. Again, these facts may not be correct. I'm just going off of what I found on Google. So basically, I believe that this could be the early Boeing 787s. It may not be the new ones that are built. I don't even know if they still build them, really. But they apparently don't have window blinds either. They have a dimming mode. You can dim the windows. So I believe they've got that window that has the magnetic stuff in it, and you can dim it to however much light you want to come in. So I found that to be really interesting. So they don't have a shade that breaks. They have a window that actually breaks and doesn't work. Because could you imagine sitting at a window that's either always blacked out or always open? I guess they'd have to replace them, because that'd be really uncomfortable. If you wanted to close the blind, you just pull it down. But if the window dimming's not working, then it's not working. But it was just another interesting thing that they done with the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. I do believe there was actually, it wasn't even going to be called the Boeing 787. It was going to be called the Boeing 7E7 because at the time of it being built, it was its most fuel efficient plane. But then apparently they changed their mind to go along with their normal naming, which I don't see. I really don't believe they would have ever called it a 7E7, because they had all the other ones, the 737, 727, and the one before it was the 777. So I don't believe they would have ever called it a 787. I believe it was always going to be called a 787. But just, and it's the old saying, you know that 99% of facts are all made up. So you can just read between the lines, and don't hold me to any of this. I just read this. I found a lot of it interesting though. And the reason the Boeing 787 is the most efficient is because it was one of the first planes to be built with a composite frame. So it's not all steel or aluminium. It's got different composite materials in it, which made it, I believe, like 50% composite, which made it a lot lighter, which then in turn saved fuel. So it was definitely a groundbreaking plane at the time. Again, I believe they started building them in 2009.
435 kilometers, Brisbane 25 minutes. 1018. 1018. 8,953 above ground. 10010.
Must be flying over a reasonable size hill. Let's just see where we are.
Australia-State of New South Wales.
Still in New South Wales?
Vulture. Kangaroo Flat.
No, we're going over Kangaroo Flat, which isn't very flat.
9,053 above ground. 10010.
It's about 50 metres above the ground. Yeah, so there's some interesting things about the plane. Not a great deal more I can tell you about it. It did have the most intuitive cabin design for the I don't know what they are called these days. The flight crew, the stewardesses and stewards that control the planes and the cabins. Apparently they can set the lighting really. The lighting is really improved in the Boeing 787. I'm guessing there's probably better planes now because we've definitely come a long way since then. But back then, when it came out, they could actually program the cabin to resemble a really bright sunny day, or to be just a nice night sky. So not jet black dark like you would be if you just turn the lights off, but
Armidale Dumaresque.
like you had maybe starlight or moonlight or something. So I guess the idea of that was to help out with the flights, especially the long ones, so people didn't get jet lag. Not sure, but just all for comfort. But planes have come a long way since then too, so who knows? Some of these new planes probably have the sun built into them. I am joking, of course. I like finding things out about planes, like when I first found out about the runways, how they numbered the runways. I found that to be really interesting. Like, I always wondered how they got the numbers 26L and 26R. I knew they meant left and right, but I didn't know that the number was actually the angle of the runway. So I don't know if anybody else found that interesting, but I definitely did. And I explained it to my friend, and he just went, yeah, so. And I just went, yeah, okay. Obviously he didn't find it as interesting as I did. And occasionally when I'm watching, just open up my YouTube channel on my stream, my main page, I've got a couple of guys that actually stream live from Brisbane Airport. They stream the planes coming and going. I know most people will probably find that as boring as watching paint dry, but I just turn it on and listen to their goings on and listen to what planes are coming into land. I actually didn't realise Brisbane Airport was as busy as it was until I watched that stream. Like, basically, as one plane takes off, another one's landing, and they've only got the two runways, which is 01 and 19. They've got 01 left and right and 19 left and right, and just depending on the day and the wind and everything, depends on which way the planes land or take off. And yeah, so one plane will be taking off, and there's another plane already lining up to land pretty much as soon as it takes off. So I was quite surprised at how busy it is. I don't know the name of the channel offhand, but it's just a couple of guys that stream it. I believe one of the guys actually works at Brisbane Airport as a ground crew. So they spit out a lot of interesting facts as well about planes. They seem to know a lot about planes and all the different ones that are coming into land, because there's lots of different ones. And I've actually heard there's some 787s and some A380s and stuff coming into land, so it is quite a big airport. I've landed at Brisbane Airport once, a few years ago. Actually, I've only ever flown in real planes twice. Once to Brisbane and once from Brisbane to go on a cruise to the South Pacific.
353 kilometers, Brisbane 20 minutes.
So it was definitely an experience. I had a little bit more sight back then, but I still gave my wife the window seat. I figured she'd get more benefit than me, and I was already on edge enough because me being like my father, I was always working on the pretense of if I was meant to fly, I'd have wings. So I didn't think I'd ever get in a plane, but definitely an interesting experience. It was only a small twin turboprop plane. I think it seated about 100 people. I think it was a Fokker, but I can't be too sure about that. Can't remember. It was definitely an experience. I love the acceleration feel. Like I've always enjoyed accelerating in cars and motorbikes and things like that. So love the acceleration feeling when it took off though. So quick to accelerate from like 0 to whatever speed they take off at.
Clarence Valley.
And
Clarence
the
Valley.
first pilot was definitely better than the second pilot. The second pilot was a bit strange. The way they flew the plane, just when we were coming into land, it was just a totally different experience. But I did have some strange disease that we caught on the second last day of the cruise. Those petri dishes, as we call them. And I had, my ears they hadn't popped or anything, and I was just really uncomfortable. So I was just not in the best of moods to start with. And this pilot was sort of, just the way, it was like he was making the propellers make a different sound. So maybe he was rotating the propellers a little bit to turn the plane on a different angle. I'm not sure, just to straighten it up. I'm not a pilot, but he was definitely, the first one just went straight into land at Brisbane. But the second one that was landing at our home airport, which is a much smaller airport, just the way it was landing, it felt really uncomfortable. The landing was smooth, like didn't slam it down or anything, but it was just really uncomfortable the way the propellers were making a different noise. And because both flights, we were right beside the propellers. Basically out our window were the blades. So obviously it's got really thick glass because you could barely hear the engines considering where we were sitting. I'd like to go on a jet one day and feel the acceleration of a jet.
10010. 8,900, 303 kilometers, Brisbane
I
17
will
minutes.
have to start heading down soon because we've got to get down to at least, we'll head down to 2,000 metres in about, I don't know, about 100.
299 kilometers, Brisbane 17 minutes.
Yeah, maybe about 250 we'll start heading down.
Dead ahead at 13.8. 1018. Dead ahead at 13.8.
So we've nearly turned a full degree as we've been approaching this airport from what we were. We started at 15, we're now down to 13.8. When I turn the autopilot off, that'll straight back to a full degree, which I believe would be 14.
1018.
So we only ever made it to 1018, so that must be the top speed of this plane. And we are at
90 throttle 90% throttle preset 6 flight mode .
We're at 90%.
289 kilometers, Brisbane 17 minutes. Dead ahead at 13.8. 13.9/13.8 auto.
I hope you didn't find my facts and my talking a little bit about rubbish too boring. I just had to fill this flight up, and luckily this is the last of the really long flights. When I do the free flights, I might do... but the thing is, with the free flights, I get all the airports, where with this this training flight, I only get like 3 or 4 airports in Australia. So
279 kilometers, Brisbane 16 minutes.
and they're all quite a distance apart. As you heard, the closest was Melbourne, but I've already flown around Melbourne, so I wanted to go to Brisbane today, just to have a different airport to land at.
1018, 274 kilometers, Brisbane 16 minutes. Dead ahead at 13.8. 13.8/13.8 auto. 9,566 above ground.
Where are we?
Australia-State of New South Wales.
Still in New South Wales.
3. Clarence Valley. 4. Dermorton. 5.
Yeah, well, Brisbane is just over the border from, it's about 100 kilometres over the border from New South Wales, and we'd basically be flying straight up the coast. Sydney and Brisbane are both coastal cities, so we're just basically flying straight up the coastline. So New South, actually, in New South Wales and Queensland border, there's actually a town called Tweed Heads, which is on the Gold Coast, and that town is built on the border. So at part of the year, half the town is on daylight saving and the other half isn't. So you cross a street there and you lose an hour in time, and you cross back over and you gain an hour in time. So if you want to eat lunch twice, and I believe it's one of the main streets that has cafes and stuff on it, so if you want to eat lunch twice, you can just cross the road. And the Gold Coast is about an hour from Brisbane. So yeah, that's why we're still in New South Wales.
251 kilometers, Brisbane 14 minutes.
Alright, let's start heading down. So set altitude.
Set altitude 2342345 29900.
And we'll do the comma.
M 2000, comma.
And we'll do it at about...
1.
we'll do it at
5,
15.
15. Enter.
So
Edit.
just so we get down a bit quicker. And we'll just check and make sure we're going to the correct altitude by pressing the altitude buttons.
9,483/2000 auto.
So yep, 2000 auto. And we're heading
T minus 15.
minus 15 degrees down.
1018. 8,713/2000 auto.
It's probably uncomfortable for the passengers, and you probably should use the spoilers to come down, but no passengers on board, just me and the test pilot.
237 kilometers,
Or
Brisbane
the
13
training
minutes.
pilot.
236 kilometers, Brisbane 13 minutes. Dead ahead at 13.7.
And while I think about it, I'm going to shut off my stall warning so I don't get the alarm going off when I'm landing this plane.
Control
Stall
shift E.
indication off.
Control Shift E to turn that off. And then we'll check everything once we get assigned a runway, and we set ourselves for the beacon at the end of the runway, depending, because
13.8/13.7 auto.
coming in at 13 degrees, and the runways 0, 1 and 19. So no, we'll be definitely heading for a beacon at the end of one of the runways, depending on which one they give us. So major airport, so we can head to beacon D or E. I think it's D, which is 20 kilometers away from the end of the runway. Actually, let's just check that.
Alt enter. Combo box. Pilot Roderberg
So,
69 left. Paren 1 right.
Alt enter for destination airport. Tab
Combo
to
box. Descent map.
descend map, and
Combo
tab
box.
to beacons.
Waypoints.
Waypoints.
1A left. Paren 217 kilometers. Dead ahead. Right. Paren 1 E left. Paren 199 kilometers. Dead ahead. Right. 1 E left. Paren
Yep,
199
they do have
kilometers.
E,
Escape.
so we will go to E. Right, we're down to our
1986.
altitude.
113 kilometers. Brisbane 12 minutes.
So that took us just over 20. So about 35 kilometres to come down from 10,000 to 2,000 at 15 degrees. So if I had to come down at maybe 10 degrees, it maybe would have taken 50
206 kilometers. Brisbane 12 minutes. 1018. 1,751 above ground. 1986.
Now we checked the 150k radius, and it was about 1,200 above the ground, so we're definitely high enough.
202 kilometers, Brisbane 11 minutes.
I know we're still more than that out, but we still should be fine. Nearest object,
Not detected.
nothing ahead of us, so at this altitude, so we're fine.
13.7/13.7 auto.
Now, Brisbane Airport will contact us at about 60 kilometres out, and then I'll get my runway, and then whatever runway they give me, I will head to the E beacon at the end, which is approximately 20 kilometres away. I'll then head away to about 30 kilometres and turn around and come back, and then start lining up for that runway. I will start slowing down before I get to there, because I've got I slow down to about 500, and then I believe this plane, I want to say I can set the engines to 0 and coast in from about 31 kilometres out, and then I'll be nearly at landing speed, but I'm going to do it a little bit further just to be sure, because I can't remember. How are we going with the fuel?
E, 48712 liters.
So we only burnt just over 1,000 litres. And what's the weather today?
W, clear sky, temperature 13, pressure 1012, humidity 46, east wind 2 meters per second.
13, still a bit cold out there. And how far are
D,
we travelling?
592 kilometers.
Okay, so we're getting
177 kilometers, Brisbane 10 minutes. Dead ahead at 13.6. 1,781 above ground. 1986. 13.7/13.6 auto.
there. So we actually went about 14 metres below 2,000. I could have pulled back up and went above 2,000 again, but I'm not overly concerned about
152.70, 13.7/171 kilometers, Brisbane 10 minutes.
it. And we'll just double check our radio frequency. So
Alt enter. Combo box. S
Brisbane
mode. White public
is
with hide above difficult. Ground control : approach control : 124.4.
124.4, and then
Escape.
we press F to get our radio frequency.
124.4.
Yep, so we're on the correct frequency. I just like to check everything and make sure I'm set up, ready to go. Just going to go quiet for a minute, so just give me a second and we'll be back in a moment to finish this flight.
Choked off dash draw 502 kilometers, vertical 1018. 130 kilometers, Brisbane 7 minutes. Dead ahead at 13.1738 above ground. 89 : throttle : 89.0% : throttle preset 5 : flight mode :
Okay, sorry about the quiet. Just had to do some stuff and I bumped some things.
Home. 1018. 90 : throttle : 90% : throttle preset
Okay.
122 kilometers, Brisbane 7 minutes.
So we're getting close now.
Dead ahead at 13.5. 13.5/13.1782 above 2010.
Yep. I just had to jump up and go and take a drink, so I was getting a bit parched. And then I put the controller down on the chair and then sat on it. Luckily, we didn't crash the plane.
13.5, 1018.
And because the autopilot brought us back in line,
1018.
and I choked the engine off a little bit.
2010.
And I increased the altitude a little bit.
1018. 1018. 111 kilometers, Brisbane 6
All right,
minutes.
we're getting close now.
Australia, State of Australia, State of Queensland Scenic Rim.
Yay, we're in Queensland.
Australia-State of Queensland.
It's my home state.
3. Scenic Rim. 4. Leno. 5. 48356 liters. 1018. 104 kilometers, Brisbane 6 minutes.
Okay, so I won't start slowing down until I'm actually approaching the beacon, and then once I'm approaching the beacon,
2010.
I will start slowing down. And what I do is I slow down to 500, and then that's my speed that I come into the runway at. Once I get to about 30 kilometers, I hit the throttles to 0. Well, I'll actually set the landing speed, which I'll check that, because the stall speed's probably changed for the landing, because we've burnt some fuel off, because all your stall speeds do change. So I need to check the stall speed with no flaps and the flaps with 4, and then I will know what's sort of going on in that manner, and I will actually set the speed. So I do like the auto speed because you can set and forget. I've never had it fail on me, but yeah, there's always a first time.
86 kilometers, Brisbane 5 minutes. 1018. 82 kilometers, Brisbane 4 minutes.
But yeah, it'll be good to actually get back into the free flights and to actually do some flights and earn some money. And the first thing I'll be doing is some good long 5,000 kilometre flights to earn some good money to purchase the training for the Concorde plane. I definitely enjoy flying the Concorde. I definitely want to show that one off because it's totally different plane to fly. It doesn't have flaps or spoilers or anything like that.
72 kilometers, Brisbane 4 minutes.
So it's definitely a different beast, and it goes really, really fast. So I won't give away too much information. I know there's other people that have flown it already, but yeah, I couldn't believe it when I actually got into it last time.
67 kilometers, Brisbane 3 minutes.
Okay, so we'll be getting called by the airport momentarily, and then we can start getting back into the exciting part again. But yeah, it's definitely interesting doing the free flights. I can't wait till the full game is released, or at least we get more testing, but maybe testing the other stuff. Maybe they don't need to test the other parts of the game, I'm not sure, but once I unlock it all, I will
control.
show. Oh, there we go.
Logan.
SK416, welcome to our airspace.
First thing you do as soon as they contact you is get a runway so you know where you're going.
Dash at runway dash asking for runway, enter, edit.
SK416, you've been assigned runway 01 right.
Yep, 01 right. So we've got a taxi all the way back in, long way in. Okay, so Alt enter, so we know we get the right airport.
69 left, paren 1 right,
Tab across to waypoints, and we want
1 A left,
01.
49 kilometers, 1 E left, paren 31, 14 E left, 1 E left, paren 31 kilometers, 2 right,
1
paren.
E, so we press
Add to
spacebar to
navigation.
add it to navigation.
Escape, edit.
We tab across to the navigation.
Route combo box.
Because
Brisbane
it's
left, paren 1 E
above.
left, paren 20 kilometers, 170.
Oh,
Brisbane
sorry,
1 E left,
below.
paren 20 kilometers,
F2
177
to
right,
move
0
it
minutes right,
above
paren.
the airport.
1 E left, paren 24, Brisbane left, paren
And
20
now the
kilometers, 6 left, 0
autopilot will
minutes right, paren.
automatically
Escape.
adjust to it. So now we tab back to the dashboard,
Dashboard.
and we'll check our
21
direction.
kilometers, 1 E 1 minute, 21 kilometers, 1 E 1
So
minutes.
it's only 21 kilometers, so I'm going to start slowing down. So I'm going to set my speed to 500. Set speed,
Set speed, set 5, 0, 0. 500, enter, edit.
because it does take this plane a while to slow down.
1016/500 auto.
And there we go, there's the beacon for Brisbane off to our left.
1005/-27.690.
This is the exciting part. I always like taking off and landing.
14 kilometers 1 E0 minutes.
Definitely gets the blood
13
running.
kilometers 1 E0 minutes. 12 kilometers 1 E0 minutes. 948/500 auto.
Right, so I'm going to turn the autopilot
11
off in a
kilometers
second.
1 E0 minutes.
Brisbane.
10 kilometers 1 E0
Brisbane.
907/500 auto.
And we got to head away from the airport at 190 degrees. That's totally the opposite direction to 01. So it's 10 degrees and it's 190. So set course,
Australia and Oceania. Escape.
set course. Autopilot off. Autopilot off.
Auto navigation
3.1
off.
kilometers 1
Set
E0
course.
minutes. Set course 18890.
Can't set course while you're
190, 2, 5. 1.0 kilometers 1 E0.7 kilometers 1 E0 25 21
There we go.
31
Flyover point
40
reached.
712/50 61 70 80 91 100 110 121 130 141 150 160 170 180 190 21 kilometers Brisbane 1 minutes 21 kilometers Brisbane 1 minute.
So I'm heading directly away from the airport to get distance away
636/500
while
auto.
I slow down.
173 right at 3.
So basically when I turn around I'll then line up with runway 01, which is 10 degrees. All you do is add a 0 to the end of your runway to get your angle of attack. So if we're coming in on 19, that'd be 190 degrees, which is what we're
190.
currently heading away from.
26 kilometers Brisbane 2 minutes.
So I will contact the airport shortly to get approach clearance.
27 kilometers Brisbane 2 minutes. 27 kilometers Brisbane 2 minutes. 549/500
Right, let's
auto.
quickly check our stall speeds and everything. So control enter.
Control enter. Combo
Tab to the
box.
technical data.
Stall flaps 0 stall speeds flaps 0 342 kmph.
So it's dropped a
Flaps
kilometre
1
an hour for
flaps
that.
2 flaps 3
Okay.
flaps 4 262 kmph.
And the same for that. So we'll want to come down to 263.
Flaps 4 262 kmph. Escape.
Yep.
Escape.
That was
32 kilometers Brisbane 501.
right. We're at 500. So let's get approach clearance.
Combo box. Approach dash enter. Edit.
I'm gonna
33
go.
kilometers Brisbane 3 minutes.
SK416. You can begin approach.
I'm
33
going to go to
kilometers
about
Brisbane 4
35
minutes.
and then turn
34
around.
kilometers Brisbane 4 minutes.
Set course.
Set course 1990. 10, 2, 5.
Right. So we're
35
right.
kilometers Brisbane 4 minutes. 35 kilometers Brisbane 4 minutes.
Go to 36.
36
and then I'll
kilometers
turn
Brisbane
right.
4
Let's
minutes.
turn around.
35. Enter. At 501.
Doing
180.
501 and I'll set my
169.
speed for 262 when
160.
I'm ready, and then it'll cut off
150.
at 263, which is
140.
above our stall speed.
130. 120.
And then we'll be
110.
set to land,
100. 90.
as we set everything as we're coming in.
79.
Of course, I've got
70.
distances that I do that at and certain
60.
speeds.
37 kilometers Brisbane 50. 40.
Now we're not going to be directly lined up.
36 kilometers Brisbane 4 minutes. 9 left at 1.
We're
9 left at
9
1.
left, so we've got to turn to the left
Z1 right at 1. 6 right at 1.
to
350.
swing back around, and we've
18
got to
right at
swing back around
340.
quite a
24
bit.
right at 1. 30 right at 330. 35
gonna go
right at
quite
2.
a ways
40 right
around.
at 2. 40 right at 2. 40 right at 2.
We're at 2 degrees. I'm going to go a bit
320.
further.
46 right. 34 kilometers Brisbane 47 right at 3. 47 right at 3. 33 kilometers Brisbane 3 minutes.
So I'm going to
33 kilometers 48 right at 4. 33 kilometers Brisbane 3 minutes. 33 kilometers Brisbane 3 minutes.
set speed.
Set speed. Set 2. 6. 2. 32 kilometers Brisbane 3 minutes. 51 right at 7. 32 kilometers Brisbane 3 minutes. 32 kilometers Brisbane 3. 31 kilometers Brisbane 262.
Right, set
52
speed.
right at 8. Set speed. Set speed edit.
Yeah.
Escape. Escape.
Set course.
Set course 1990. 10, 2, 6. 55 right at 11. 26 at
Now we've gone
320.
too far, so we'll just swing back the
30
other way.
kilometers Brisbane 3
We've got plenty of
minutes.
time to line this back
340.
up.
350. 0.
Just doing too many
10.
things at once.
Turn right at 12.
Alright, so we only got to go 2 right, so we head to the
Set
right.
9 left at 12.
Set course.
Set course 1990. 10, 2, 5.
Right.
27 kilometers. 9 left at 12. 9 left at 12. 9 left at 12. 13 left at 11.
Right, nearly back
13
there.
left at 11.
I'll head back when I get
13
to
left
10.
at 11. 13 left at 11. 13 left at 11. 25 kilometers. Brisbane 3 minutes. 13 left at 11. 13 left at 11. 14 left at 10. 14 left at 10.
Just wait a
14
little
left
bit
at 10.
and
25 and 20. 410/262 auto.
and we're
10.
slowing down.
407/262 auto.
Okay, so let's start setting up the landing. Landing mode.
Taxi lights on.
Your
Landing
landing lights
on.
and taxi lights are now on. Please keep preparing for landing.
Lowered.
When you are at almost landing speed,
That's
set
our
the flaps to
landing
optimal
lights
landing
and
setting.
stuff on, and
make sure your landing gear is down.
That's our landing gear down, so that's good. We're getting there. And we're coming
20 kilometers. Brisbane 3 minutes.
20 kilometers, so we'll get landing clearance as well, and then we'll start heading down because we're still pretty high
Combo
up.
box. Approach dash asking for approach clear. Brake dash aboard land dash ask enter. Edit.
Safe altitude.
52 kilometers. Descent to 117 meters, which is
SK
114 meters above ground. 19 weight above
416, you are
ground.
cleared to land.
356/18 kilometers. Brisbane 3 minutes.
Set the flaps.
Set flap position 4. Enter. Edit. 351/262
Come on,
auto.
get down flaps. 342 was the stall speed.
17 kilometers. Brisbane 2 minutes. 342/200. 341/262 auto. 1,447. 1,447 above. 1,447 above. 1,447 above
Right,
ground.
we're not falling out of the sky.
331/262 auto flaps at 4. 1,280 above ground. 325/200. 1,185 above ground. 1,141 above ground. 14 kilometers. Brisbane 2 minutes. 319/262 auto flaps at 4. 927 above ground. 841 above ground.
Safe altitude.
52 kilometers. Descent to 117 meters, which is 114 meters above ground.
Okay,
Dash
so
runway
we'll go down
01
to
dash
about
Brisbane dash
150.
586 above ground. 591 above ground.
500. 400.
Remember, don't go below 300 until you
300.
set the flaps to your landing.
200.
184, 172 above ground.
Right, that'll do us for
291/211 kilometers. Brisbane 2 minutes. 289/200. Dead ahead of 10. Dead ahead of 10.
Still dead ahead at 10, that's good.
172 above ground. 227. 281/262 auto flaps at 4. 279/10 kilometers. Brisbane 2 minutes.
Nearly down at landing speed. We've got permission, so we're good.
275/262 auto flap. 172 above ground. 9.6 kilometers. Brisbane 2 minutes.
200.
269/200. 213 above ground.
Go down
200.
again.
191 above. 165. 152 above
Just
ground.
the land change.
166. 152 above ground. 8. 263 flaps at 4.
Right, so we're at 263.
152 above ground. 152 above ground.
make sure we're not
152 above
falling out
ground.
of the sky.
152 above ground.
Full
152 above 8.0 kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute.
Safe altitude.
9.5 kilometers. Descent to 20 meters, which is 17 meters above ground. Dash runway
Okay,
01
so
dash
that's
Brisbane
our
dash
landing
7.4
altitude.
kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute.
And we'll
Dead ahead of 10.
connect to ILS momentarily, just as long as we stay on course.
Dead ahead of 10. 6.8 kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute. 10. 263 flaps at 4. 160. 166. 6.4 kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute. 6.1 kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute. 5.9 kilometers. Dead ahead of 10. 5.8 kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute.
Looking good so far.
Dead ahead of 10. 5.5 kilometers. Brisbane 5.4. Dead ahead of 10. 5.3 kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute. 5.2 kilometers. Brisbane 1. Dead ahead of 10. 5.0 kilometers. Brisbane 1 minute. 4.8 kilometers. Brisbane 1
Runway
minute.
list.
Combo box 01L.
And we're
01R.
on 01R, so we select that with the arrow
Enter,
key,
edit.
press
4.
enter,
Dead ahead of 10. 4.0. 10.4 miles.
and we're on ILS.
3.8 kilometers. Brisbane 0 minutes. 263 flaps at 4. 3.5 kilometers. Brisbane's dead ahead of 10. 161 above. 3.2 kilometers. Brisbane 0 minutes. 3.1 kilometers. Brisbane 0
We'll
minutes.
start heading down at 2 kilometers.
2.8 kilometers. Brisbane dead ahead of 10. 10.4 miles. 161 above ground.
Pretty sure it was the right runway we were given, I hope so.
2.2 kilometers. Brisbane 0 minutes. 1.9 kilometers. Brisbane 161
Alright,
above
let's
ground.
start heading down.
150, 140, 130, 120,
1 kilometers, Brisbane 0
110, 100. 90, 80, 70.
0.9 kilometers, Brisbane 0
Right,
minutes.
I'll wait till we get a bit
0.7
closer.
kilometers, Brisbane 0 minutes.
Within 500.
0.6 kilometers, Brisbane 0 minutes. 0.4 kilometers, Brisbane
There we
0
go.
minutes.
60, 50, 40, 30, 20.
18 above ground. 18 above ground. 14 above ground.
Rightio. Right, wait for the runway now, and then we'll stall the engines, shut the engines off.
Bravo.
Stall.
Runway
Throttle
01
reset
R19L.
10. Landing successful.
Reverse thrusters on.
213 flap, 203 flaps at 4.
Go safely back on the ground in Brisbane.
E 4766R 154 flaps at 144 flaps at 4 136 flaps at 4 2590 123 flaps at 4 R 117 flaps at 4 110 flaps at 4 103 flaps at 4
Right, we've just got to wait till we get down to 50 kilometers an hour and we'll set it back to taxi mode.
R 84 flaps at 4 R 80 flaps at 4 76 flaps at 4 R 73 flaps at 4 69 flaps at 4 R 66 flaps at 4
And then I'll choke off because we've still got a long way to go. down the
1907 meters 1888 meters 57 flaps at 4
runway. You can't set back to taxi mode
53
until
flaps at 4.
below 50 or 50 and
R
below.
51 flaps at 4 R 49 flap
Taxi
shift delete.
mode.
Choked off
Choke
dash throttle
off.
preset to 1706 meters 47 flaps at 4
47's fast enough. I've got to check where this runway goes off. So we come in on 01R, so we're leaving on 19L. So let's
shift
have
enter
a look
combo
and
box
see
S
where
boat
that
white pump
comes
hot
off.
diff ground approach airport runway 32 14 left closed entrance entrance 14 Alpha Romeo Echo deck surface main area south number of gates 7 number of stands airport building on the runway 01L 19R left parent 3000 and entrance
No.
19R surface S runway 01R 19L left parent 3560 meet entrance 01R Bravo entrance 19L Bravo Victor Charlie dash 3710
Bravo, Victor, Charlie.
4150
So we go
escape
Charlie,
escape
Victor, Bravo.
destination dash Brisbane destination dash 1180 2556 runway 01R 19L
So it should tell us which way to turn at the end of the runway. And we'll turn onto that, and we're heading...
1028 meters. Shift enter. Combo box. S boat white pop hot dip air and entrance night surface S. Entrance 19R Bravo Tango Charlie dash 3450 3200 surface runway 01R 19L left parent entrance 0 entrance 19L Bravo Victor Charlie dash 3700 escape.
Direction of Charlie.
Charlie goes east-west.
Okay, so we'll be turning whichever way, the 90. I'm guessing we'll be turning to 90. It's not going to make us turn to 270, sure.
Destination dash Brisbane 3635 meters 3618 meters throttle preset 0 3591 meter 45 flaps at 4
We've got to taxi all the way back in because 19's the furthest runway away, of course.
484
If we had
meters
landed on 19, we would have been taxiing off at the
36
right end.
flaps at 447 meter 35 flaps at 4
It just wants to make this as long as it possibly can.
397 meters 370 30 flaps at 4 29 flaps at 4 29 flaps at 4
Set the flaps.
set flap position 0 enter edit
No
26
big
flaps
deal.
at 4 25 flaps at 4 choked off dash throttle preset 25 flaps at 4
Choked off at 25.
264 meters
I'll speed up again once I get on the taxiway down the side of the runway because that's going to be like
Flaps set.
3.5 kilometers long.
199 meters
Guessing we're going
10.
to be turning right onto Charlie.
Charlie, right.
Yep, there we go. So we'll be turning
Charlie,
to 90 degrees
right.
east.
10
Don't
Charlie,
turn until you actually
right.
get onto it.
3607 324 meters
Charlie, right. Charlie,
Charlie.
right.
And now,
20
once it says you're on it,
31 40
because you're heading directly towards
50
it.
60 71 80 90 89 90 90 east 102 meters
And we'll turn onto Victor in a moment.
Victor.
We'll be right,
100
Victor,
which
111
will be
120
south. 'cause,
Vic,
130
the runways,
140
the
Victor,
151
areas here
160
are in the southwest.
170
Victor,
180 184 182 100 south 3464 meters
Let's speed up. Set speed.
Set speed 65. Enter. Edit.
And I'll just show you that it's in the southwest in this airport, I
Shift
believe.
enter. S boat white pub hot dip grab up. Airport run close. Entrance surface main air number of gates sub main area
area.
southeast.
Southeast. Southeast. Yeah. So it's in the southeast because
Escape.
it's on Bravo. So when we get to the end of this
3,195
taxiway,
52/65
we've got
auto.
to turn right onto Bravo and head east back into the main area. And to save time, I'm just going to go straight into the main area and stop the flight. I'm not going to go through Victor and Zulu and Mike and all that. I'm just going to turn onto Bravo, head straight in the main area and stop the flight, because otherwise we're going to be going for another 5 minutes.
2,807 meters. 65.
But I just want to show you how the flight works completely. I don't want to turn it off now or anything like that. Hopefully you've learned a lot of valuable information anyway, and it's the same way to do things.
1,092 meters. 2,500 meters. 65.
And I hope my ramblings weren't too boring for you. But yeah, the Blind Gaming Club is definitely a great community if you're interested in that sort of thing.
2,246 meters. 65. Destination dash Brisbane. 0 above ground. 3. 2,316 Victor.
And remember, unlike Alpha, you travel east into the west into the main area. Sorry, you turn
South.
Yeah, you turn right onto. I'm giving you a bum steer. You turn right onto Bravo and head west into the main area. Where on Alpha, you turn to the east and head into the main area.
1,534 meters.
I actually had a very pleasant drive around this airport the first time because I didn't realise it had Alpha and Bravo. And Alpha, there's a runway on Alpha, but it's a short runway and it's closed at the moment.
2,343, 1,245
I don't
meters.
know how long it's closed for, but it's closed.
1,191
And
meters.
I drove all the way up around there before I realised and checked the airport stats to find out that I had to go out on Bravo.
1,061 meters. 1,024 meters. 65. 1,977 meters.
So yeah, if anybody can help you out with tips, Brisbane, you always head to the runways on Bravo, which is always to the east of the main area.
South. 9,786 meters. 900 throttle preset 0. 9,730, 9,721, 9,762.
Set speed.
Set speed 2. 5.
And I believe we're all the way up the other end of Bravo as well, so
53.
it's another long taxi.
51. 471 meters. 441 meters. 392 meters.
The joys of flying, you have to go where you're told to go.
324 and 41. 293 meters. 260 meters. 227 meters. 36. 203 meters.
Go.
35.
Slow
Enter.
down.
Edit. 28/25. 26.
Don't wanna
325.
break our
Victor.
wheels off.
316. 111 meters.
Bravo.
Okay, so we're going to turn to
South.
Bravo.
270 degrees now when we get on Bravo.
Bravo.
Don't turn before you get on it.
224 meters.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Here we go, we're on it.
191.
Turning right.
200.
270.
211. 220. 230. 240. 250. 260.
Victor.
270. 272. 200 west. 1,834 meters.
Alright, we'll slow speed up a little bit. Set speed.
Set speed. Set speed 4. 45990. 50. Enter. Edit. 26/50. 27. 1,748 meters. 143 Bravo. 4,124 Bravo. 4,108 Bravo. 4,092 Bravo. 38/50 on 1,600 1,649 1,633 meters. 1,611 45/50 auto. 1,573 meters. 150. 1,529 meters. 1,470 meters. 1,443 meters. 1,430 3,806 Bravo 50.
We'll have the runways coming up on the right in a minute, which the first one will be the runway we just landed on. 01 right. 01R.
00 above ground. 1,188 meters.
01R.
There we go, that's where we just landed. Then there should be a taxiway in between those two.
Tango.
Yep, there's Tango, and then the next runway will be 01L.
143 Bravo 909 meters. 1,886 meters.
Alright.
1,854 meters. 1,826 meters.
Slow down shortly.
1,774 meters. 1,737 meters. Throttle preset 0, 49. 1,686 meters. 1,657 meters. 3,045 Bravo. 1,588 meters. 42. 1,555 meters. 39.
We're heading straight in
38.
anyway, so
37.
I'm not going to be turning.
36.
Well, I don't have to slow all the way
35.
down.
141, 421 meters. 34.
Stop at 30
33.
this time.
32. 32. 32. 1,360. 31. Choked off dash throttle preset 31. 1,336 meters.
Set speed.
Set speed. Set speed 0.
There's runways
01L.
01L. See, if we landed on 19, we'd be
01L.
coming off this end, so we would already been there.
01L.
Destination dash Brisbane. 198. 190 meters.
There's Mike. Will it be Mike 2?
Mike 2.
Mike 1's on the alpha side.
Mike 2.
31.
And
Mike
we'll be
2.
coming into the main area, and then I'll press speed.
Main area.
Enter. Edit.
There we go.
29/0 auto. 13/0 auto.
Flight completed.
Yay, flight completed. I'll double check everything, but I'm pretty sure we didn't get any penalties, so I didn't start the engines without permission or anything.
Flight evaluation dialog blank. Successful flight blank. Flight length 824 kilometers. Duration 1 hours 19 minutes. Points 0. Earnings 0. Minor crashes 0. Penalty points 0 blank.
There we go. Okay,
Enter.
so
Dashboard.
that's another successful flight. Sorry it took so long, but that's the only airports I had. I probably should have done another circuit flight, but I wanted to show you going from two major airports, Sydney to Brisbane, which they're two of the biggest airports in Australia. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got all the information you needed. Another successful flight done. I'm Rauderberg69, part of the Blind Gaming Club. I'll leave the link in the description to our website. Check us out. And again, if you like and subscribe, that gives more people access to these videos. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.